Fourth grade into math, lesson 11.7. Use comparisons to order fractions. I can use different strategies to compare and order 3 or more fractions. Step it out. Number 1. Elizabeth's soccer team is designing a new team flag. Their team colors are green and yellow. They're considering 3 same size designs. Which design has the least green fabric? Which has the most? Compare the fractions and order them from least to greatest. Okay, so we've already done benchmark before, right, guys? Okay, so half of 5 would be what? What's half of 5?
2.5.
Is 2.5. Okay, so equals 2.5 over 5. Okay, so 3/5 is what? Greater than or less than half? Guys, is 3 more than 2.5? Yep, so it'd be more. Okay, what is half of 8? 4. So half would be 4/8. So 1/8 is less than 1/2. And then what is half of 10? 5. So 5/10. Okay, so 9/10 is greater than 5/10. Okay, so which ones were both greater than half? 3/5 and what else? And 9/10. So which one was the least fraction? 1/8 is the least fraction. Okay, so what they wanted us to do is get equivalent fractions to compare the 2 fractions, right? Okay, so over here, could we have made this what? Out of 10, right? To compare these 2. So how would I get from 5 to 10? Times 2. So what I do on the top or on the bottom, I do on the top. 3 times 2 is 6. So 6/10 would have been less than 9/10, right? So write the original fractions. So can I do the new ones I made up? Or do I have to do the other one? The original ones, right? Okay, so which was our smallest fraction? 1/8, right? Which one was next? The 6/10 or the 3/5. And which one was next? The 9/10. Okay, so which flag design has the least green fabric? Design 2, right? Okay, so least would be design 2. And then which one has the most? So which one is the largest? 9/10, which is design 3. Step it out, number 2. At the end of the soccer team party, parts of 3 medium pizzas are left. There's 3/4 of a cheese pizza left, half of a pepperoni pizza, and 5/6 of a veggie pizza. Elizabeth wants to compare the amounts of pizza left. Use a common denominator to compare the fractions. Okay, so we're going to get multiples of 2 for our 1/2, right? So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, let's do 4. What am I going to do? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Okay, what about 6? 6, 12, 18, 24, and 30. So what is our least common multiple, guys? 12. Okay, so 12 is our least common multiple. So we know we need 12 in our denominator of our new fraction, correct? Okay, so on the previous problem, we used benchmarks to help us figure out the smallest to the largest, right? This time we're just getting common denominator, correct? Okay, so how did I get from 4 to 12? By 3. What I do on the bottom, I do on the top. So 3 times 3 is 9. Okay. How did I get from 2 to 12? Times 6. So what I do on the bottom, I do on the top. 6 times 1 is 6. How did I get from 6 to 12? Times 2. What I do on the bottom, I do on the top. 2 times 5 is 10. Okay. Now they want us to write the equivalent fractions from what? Least to greatest. But do they want us to use the new fractions we just got or the original one? The original. Okay. So we had 9 12, 6 12, and 10 12. Which is the least there? 6 12, right? But what's the original fraction? 1/2, right? Okay. Then is 9 12 or 10 12 smaller? 9 12, but our original fraction was what? 3/4. And then what was our original fraction for 10 12? 5 6. Okay, so letter G says write the pieces in order from least amount to the greatest amount. So we did that with the fractions, right? Okay, so now we need to match the fractions up to the type of pizza. So what was 1/2? What kind? Pepperoni. What was 3/4? Cheese. And what was 5 6? Veggie. Check understanding number 1. Roger, Haley, and Jaiho make the same size burritos. Roger eats 4/6 of his burrito, Haley eats 6/8 of hers, and Jaiho eats 4/10 of his. Who eats the least and the greatest amounts of the burrito? Okay, so let's write least equals greatest equals, and then we're going to say because, and we're going to explain why, right? Okay, so we have Roger, who equals what? 4/6. We have Haley, who eats 6/8, and then we have Jaiho, who eats 4/10. So what would be a good common denominator? What do all of those go into? Okay, so I noticed that maybe not all of those are in simplest terms even, right? Okay, so what do you guys think we can do? Okay, since we have to get a pretty large common denominator, we can just compare these to our benchmarks, right guys? Okay, so let's compare them, okay? So let's compare them to half, okay? So what would be half of 6? 3/6, right? What would be half of 8? 4, so 4/8. And what would be half of 10? 5, so 5/10, right? Okay, so 4/6 is what? Greater than 3/6. 6/8 is greater than 4/8. And 4/10 is less than 5/10. Okay, so we have one that is less than half. So whose was less than half? Jaiho, right? So he's for sure the least, okay? Okay, now what about the other two? Can we compare those two and get a common denominator? So could I do 4/6 and what? 6/8? So it would be my common denominator. We do 24. So to get from 6 to 24, I take it times what? 4. I do on the bottom, I do on the top. So 4 times 4 is 16. Down here, 24. To get from 8 to 24 is times 3. So what I do on the bottom, I do on the top. So which one is more? 4, 6 or 6, 8? 6, 8. So who is that? That's Haley, right? Okay, so the least was Jaiho and the greatest was Haley. On your own, number 2, Aaron's soccer team is voting on a new team flag. They are voting on 3 designs. Each flag is the same size. Design 1 is 2/3 blue, design 2 is 1/6 blue, and design 3 is 3/8 blue. Compare the amount of blue in each design. Write the flag design in order from least amount of blue to the greatest amount of blue. Use visual models to justify your comparison. Okay, so let's just draw our visual model. Now, usually we only do 2, right? Okay, this time we have to do 3. Okay, so draw your rectangle. Break it into 3 sections. Okay, what is our first fraction? 2/3. What's our next one? 1/6. And what's our next one? 3/8. All right, the first one, how many pieces? 3, right? Okay, and then how many do we color in? 2. Okay, the next one, how many pieces? 6, right? So we're going to break it in half, and then we're going to break those halves into 3 pieces. And then how many do we color in? 1, right? Okay, and then 3/8, how many do we break it into? 8, right? So we're going to break it in half, and then break those in half, and then break those in half, right?
Yeah. Shade 3.
It's nice when they're an even number, right? Yeah. Kind of helps us out a bit. Okay, so how many do we shade? 3. Okay, so which one has the least amount? 1/6. 1/6. Okay, I guess I need to go back and make sure. Do they want it least to greatest, or what do they want? Or do they want it greatest to least? They want it least to greatest, right? Okay. Now, do they want us to put the fraction, or do they want us to put the design?
The design.
Okay, let's do the fraction, and then let's do the design. So it would be 1/6. What's next? 3/8. And then what's next? 2/3. Okay, so 1/6 went with design. Design which one? 1/6. 2, right? Then design. What design went with 3/8? 3, right? And then design what? Okay, so number 3, they want us to compare each fraction to the benchmark half. Then write the 3 fractions in order from least to greatest. So we want least to greatest, right? Make sure we acknowledge that so we remember it for later. Okay, so what is half of 8? 4/8. Okay, what is half of 6? 3/6. And what is half of 10? 5/10. Okay, so 7/8 is what to 4/8? Greater than, right? 3/6 is what to 3/6? Equal. And then 4/10 is what to 5/10? Less than. They want least to greatest, so what's going to go first? Okay, so we wrote them in order from least to greatest. 4/10, 3/6, and 7/8.